Hello, as usual it's me Pavlo, and today I will tell you about yet another interesting audio gear, and today it will be affordable hybrid earphones. It's Tangzu FuDu Verse 1. I reviewed Tangzu earphones in the past and they proved to be really interesting model with good design and pleasant sound tuning. This is affordable hybrids with 10mm dynamic driver and two balanced armatures. It's made in cooperation with Divinus, so we can expect some good quality ear tips in the accessory set. So basically that's all. Of course I will add links to their website in the description, so take a look if you will be interested in this model. And let's see how my expectations will match the reality, because I once again have really high expectations for this model. So the first thing you pay attention at, of course, is the box. We've seen a lot of good packages recently in sub $100 segment, but this one definitely grabs your attention and stands out from the rest. It's pretty big, at the same time it's flat, and I'd say it looks stylish. On the rear part we have technical specifications, so what we've got here: 10mm dynamic driver plus two balanced armatures, less than 1% distortion, 106 decibels of sensitivity, 16 ohms of impedance, and silver plated cable. So pretty good sensitivity. Would be better if it will be 32 ohms, but 16 is okay, taking into account that sensitivity is not super high. And inside of the box we getting inner box with interesting chart-like image, or blueprint-like, or in this case it's black print probably. And here we getting that two set of tips, one Tang Sankai, and actually pretty unusual tips. I didn't met them before. Really interesting with unusual silicone texture. And Divinus tips, ultra soft, ultra smooth silicone, like really pleasant to touch. So let's go next. Of course, earpieces themselves, with extra pair of just really regular ear tips, and case and cable. I must admit that case also pretty good for this price tire. Nice zipper, nice material, and inside there are two separate sections, so if you wish you can use it actually for money. And here is the cable, but first let's have a closer look. So really interesting combination of materials, casted metal on the faceplates and resin on the inner side. Really unusual resin with unusual matte texture, and it's semi-transparent but not too much, so I definitely can see a dynamic driver unit, but not the balanced armatures. Probably under brighter light it will be visible. Pretty slim shell, fitting nicely into my ears. Actually, I suspect that this part can be a bit of issue for some people, but not for me, not for my ears. Really long spout, giving above average sound isolation, metal part here with lip and protective grill. So in terms of design, really looks interesting and really looks rich and pretty well done. And here is cable, so let me unwind it. Also a bit unusual, pure black, no transparency, going a bit against the trend. Here used absolutely classical 2-pin connectors, fitting pretty tightly and holding well, so need a bit of extra push to fit deeper, but probably I will do it later off camera, because it's not really convenient when camera is between your face and your hands. There is ear hook, and here is cable itself. Actually, cable is pretty soft, really on the softer side of things, so microphonic effect is low. Here is splitter with chin slider, and it goes braided down to the 4.4mm jack. You can get either balanced or single-ended version from them. So to summarize this part, I think everything is really interestingly done and looks really great. When it comes to the sound, I am getting used to the fact that every new relatively budget model I've tested, I'm not sure actually can models up to $100 be called budget, because for me yes, but I'm really curious to know your opinion, so please write some comment about your thoughts on that. And another budget model, another good interesting sound tuning, and FuDu Verse 1 is not an exception. So Tangzu decided to make like a bit warmer musical sound signature, but without losing too much details. But still, it's not a dry or monitoring model, it's not the model for those who'd like to hear every single nuance, but at the same time it's a good model for those who want to get the whole musical picture, let's name it so. And also two different set of tips changes sound a little bit. This soft silicone ones by Divinus, they boosting a bit deeper layers of bass, while with that created by Tangzu, they are shifting accent more towards the mid bass. And also it slightly affects the stage. With these tips it's slightly smaller, but with other tips it's slightly bigger, but difference is not huge, and mostly it's a matter of your preferences about deep bass. So I will describe sound with these tips because I enjoyed that bit of extra spiciness on the deeper bass. Bass here is accented, it's not a big accent, I'd probably say it's slightly higher than average, but not too much. Deep rumble is present, but it's not dominating, so it's not become fatiguing. Bass control is good, and also mid bass shows good dynamics, good impact and punch, but at the same time it's not oversaturated, so acoustic instruments or like realistic, not sampled instruments are not being pushed to your face or something like that. Resolution is not at maximum level, but texturing is nice, and in general it's really good in terms of rendering textures. Slightly lacking that small nuances and details, but not critical. Some good recorded instrument sounds still pretty lively. And example for the low frequencies, a bit unusual, it's Metallica, The Call of Ktulu, and it's one of great showcases of Cliff Burton's talent. I recently heard cover version with of Call of Ktulu by Scream Inc., good Metallica cover band, but on their live performance they reduced amount of bass guitar, and actually track lost a lot. I really wonder how And Justice for All should sound if Cliff Burton survived. But anyway, so bass here is not dominating, but it's like playing really important role for this tune, and these earphones deliver it pretty nicely. Mid frequencies are also on the musical side. Really good weight distribution, nice emotions, pretty decent dynamics, but no focus on the micro contrast. Detalization is good, but not at the maximum level, But as I've said many times before, it doesn't mean that you will lose some significant details of your sound. It means that they are not focusing on the tiniest nuances, so you're getting like more analog sound, less critical, more musical, more emotional. Imaginary stage is slightly above average in width and in depth, a bit bigger with other set of tips, but it's not gigantic. But anyway, layers distribution done really well. They are not super critical for the quality of record and pretty forgiving for something that is not recorded properly, but still, of course, better material will give better results anyway. It's like one of the rules of the thumb. And let's go to the example, and it's Red Hot Chili Peppers, Detroit. Interesting track with signature bass guitar that sounds pretty pleasant, and guitar part sounds really well without excessive aggression. Vocal is delivered also pretty nicely thanks to good dynamics and emotion. So not the most critical listening, but at the same time pretty enjoyable experience, like really deeping you into the music. And the treble, it's actually comfort. It's not like super soft comfort, but it's not dominating, it's not super sharp, and it's a good news for those who want like earphones without too forward treble with comfortable sound, and definitely they deliver. Of course, making treble extension just about average, and they lacking things like layering and rich overtone saturation, but basic overtones are present here, and actually treble control is pretty well done here, giving really good sound for the instruments, bringing you basic overtones. Let's go for the example. Oh yeah, here it is. It's Hans Zimmer, Interstellar, Mountains. I like this track from the Interstellar OST, and I like that probably metronome clicking at the beginning. It reminds me dripping water, and of course that growing of tension in the track, then it explodes to the whole orchestra, really epic in sound. And actually, despite of treble being pretty basic, this track sounds still pretty enjoyable. It lacking of course layering and extension, but still experience is pretty decent, and I like that. In terms of pairing, some digital tonal converter would be nice for them, but it's not a mandatory thing, so you can use it with just a smartphone if you'd like. But still, I'd recommend to get some basic digital tonal converter. And speaking about the compressions, what I have tested recently, 7Hz Sonus, they are more monitoring, more neutral, more focused on the micro contrast. And SimGod EM6L, it's a bit more detailed on the mids, and it's also a bit more forward on the treble, while I like here control of bass more, and this sounds more like less analytical. What else? I don't know, FuDu JD7, like my favorite hidden gem, I'm keeping promoting it. It's more fun, more aggressive, so for those who want like more fun coloring, more forward representation, and so on. So, to summarize, Tangzu FuDu appeared to be a really nicely tuned earphones for those who like musical and a bit relaxed signature. So, and of course they are built really well. So thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and don't forget to have a great day.